Right, what's happening? Josh Warrington. Josh is good. I mean, obviously, look, it was a complete shock. He was a big favourite going into the fight. You can see what might have gone wrong. Was it no fans? Was it the inactivity? Was it complacency? Was it Lara who just come out of an unbelievable performance? But the reality is, I think he's going to want to do it again. I think he's going to want to face Lara again. It's very dangerous, but that's the fire in him. Why is AJ off social media? I don't think he is. Any news on Boazzi? Yes, Boazzi going to be end of April, beginning of May. He will be back. Pro boxing fans, Bivol v Craig Richards. I will tell you that we are in negotiations for this fight. This is a completely left field fight. I mean, Bivol has been as inactive, like same as Josh Warrington. He's been active for about a year and a half. Peter Sims and Craig Richards come forward and said, we want to fight for the world title. And I spoke to Bivol's team. We're trying to make that fight part of a big card at the end of April. Craig Richards, big underdog, but he's ready. He's coming off a great win against Pitters. Bivol's been inactive. Go take your chance. Zach Chelli against Louis Edmondson. I love that fight. Am I going to do a sequel to my Relentless book? Oh yes, you remind me, I have a book out at the moment. Davies v Ritson 2 at the Echo. So Robbie Davies has a very, very tough fight this Saturday. Got two more Mexicans flying over this week. Cesar Suarez is... Oh, blimey, light's gone out. Whoop. Cesar Juarez is fighting Jordan Gill, opening up the show. It's a very tough fight. And also Robbie Davis Jr. fighting Valenzuela. Very, very tough fight. Kevin Lorena, what's happening, mate? Got to get you over for the fight soon. What's happening with Boazzi, so inactive, saying wrong? Not really. He was supposed to fight in December, and then obviously had a little bit of an eye injury in that fight in October. So then he was going to fight in March, but he went away to Ghana, and we just decided to go at end of April, early May. But he's all good. I do want to see Boazzi fight more though, more actively. What is your prediction for Povetkin White? I mean, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think Dillian White was on the verge of stopping him in the first fight. But obviously momentum and confidence with Povetkin. It's a cracking fight. Pac-Man and DAZN, any discussions? You know what? Manny Pacquiao's got about 46 people claiming to represent him, so it's not easy. Yes, Scott Fitzgerald will be out end of March, looking to get him out in an 8 or a 10 rounder. You all know I want to make the Fowler fight. Is Billy Joe v Canelo happening? Well, on February the 27th, which is a week this Saturday, Canelo will fight Abney Yildirim at the Miami Dolphins Stadium. Subject to victory, subject to a few other things, you might just see Billy Joe there, maybe even in the ring. So, fingers crossed. Boxing TV says White knockout within 6 rounds. When is Shannon against Ball? That is April the 10th on the Conor Bill card. Shannon Courtney against Rachel Ball for the WBA world title. Did Josh have a broken jaw? No, he hasn't broken it. He has, I believe, a small fracture in his jaw, which isn't too serious. Ewan even. April pay-per-view, possibly, end of April, looking at a big show. Ricky Burns, I am trying to make James Tennyson against Ricky Burns. Charlton against Marku, oh mate. Who's everyone got, by the way? I mean, firstly, who have you got? Josh Kelly v Avanesian. Who have you got? Slide into my little digits. And Marku against Charlton, unbelievable fight. Yeah, okay. Charlton. Bit of love for Charlton, bit of love for Kelly. Ready to rumble fitness. That's what's happening, mate. Fancies Avanesian for the win. I've got to say, Josh Kelly is in unbelievable nick. I've never seen him as prepared as well for this fight, but it's going to be a very, very tough fight. Charlton is underrated. I mean, let's be honest. Charlton and Marku, they're both raw, but they are just going to go absolutely hammer at it for 10 rounds. Rick Ramos, what's happening, mate? Dave Allen in the house. He predicts victories for Avanesian and Marku on Saturday night. And Dave is a great matchmaker, Dave, as you know. Marqueen's got Avanesian. Rowan's got Avanesian. Avanesian's strong boy, mate. Strong boy. Can really punch. The Computer Lounge. Do you actually like Coogan? Yes, I do. He's a good friend of mine. And obviously, congratulations to the big man on the birth of his daughter. Caldina fights March the 20th after coming back after the hand injury. Dave Allen says, give me a job then. Dave, you can't just stroll into a job just because you're a nice geezer. I mean, can you imagine me saying to you, Dave, right, Dave, I need you in the office at 8 a.m. We've got to go through all this stuff. I mean, I'm not sure you will be the most reliable person in the world, particularly bearing in mind your decision-making process when you box. A little bit of chat for Dave Allen against Lovejoy. What do you reckon, Dave? I mean, you got to show me you're ready. You got to show me the hunger. You can't just come back for a token fight. White Rhino, Dave Allen says he'd be there for 8:30. It's not good enough, mate. It's not good enough. Eubank v Ben, different weights. Updates on Cowley. Who's Cowley? Do I watch the UFC? Not really, but I love the business. I think they've done an amazing job. Big Dana White fan. What's next for Craig Richards? I've answered that earlier. Could be the Bivol fight. Congo is your best 147-pound fighter. Got a big fight against Mickinson. March 6th. Juma against Billum Smith. No, Juma is out with injury and we are looking for a replacement opponent. Boatsi v Johnson, great fight. Joe Gallagher. I'll never get a call. Haney v Garcia. I wish that fight is there for Ryan Garcia. Few shouts from Matchroom India. Watch this space. Not necessarily for the boxing, but other sports coming very soon and boxing will follow. Who's next for Yulusinov? Looking to box Danny R in April. He's ready. He'll fight anyone. We was trying to make Yulusinov against Virgil Ortiz. Two unbelievable young fighters. Warrington rematch. All the talk at the moment from Josh is he wants to fight Lara again. Super risky, but summertime, I believe you'll see Warrington against Lara too. G. Matthew, you bringing a show to Leeds? Yes, that one. We'll do it with a crowd this time. Still working with Eggington. No, we've been working on and off for him for a while, but I believe he's doing some stuff on Channel 5 now. Brad Ray v Cutler. We're waiting on the COVID results. The first lot are all clear, Brad, so you need a bit of a miracle. Someone's got to test positive, but that fight will happen, Brad, so hang by. Did Lara get a fight deal from Matchroom after the win? Yes, before the fight, and you know this is widely talked about. It's not uncommon for us to take options on a fighter when you get an opportunity like that. So we do have options on Lara, and that would include a rematch if Josh Warrington wants it. Again, Caldina March 20th, he's out. McGregor v Paulie. You know what? I've always rated that fight. Shout out to the City Installations. Apparently nobody does composite doors like them. There you go, City Installations. Callum Smith going to return later this year at light heavyweight. Why don't us UK fans deserve to see AJ Fury in the UK? Because we can't get crowds. There is no way we can fill up a stadium, guaranteed, in June. So, that's why. Chisora v Wilder, love. Chisora v Parker, love. Chisora v Andy Ruiz, love. What's next for Fitzy? Is he okay? Fitzy's good. He's back in the gym. He is a little bit heavy at the moment, but his weight's coming down. He's going to box at the end of March. Is Canelo unbeatable? See if Billy Joe can find out. I think he's the only one that can beat him at super middleweight. What's next for the Marku Charlton winner? I mean, look, domestically at 147, you've got some great fights, haven't you? Obviously, see if Josh Kelly can do the business this weekend. See if Conor Benn can beat Vargas on April 10th. You've got the Congo Mickinson winner on March 6th. How is the new Matchroom Media venture getting on? Really, really good. We've actually got some documentary stuff dropping for Estrada Chocolatito 2, and also a documentary on Campbell Hatton that will be dropping soon. And then shortly this summer, we'll be starting our live productions for our events. Does Canelo now beat Mayweather at his best? That's such a tough one, isn't it? I mean, you're going to take over the snooker when Barry don't want to. Snooker's something that's very close to the heart of my old man. So, you know, he's 72, but he's got a few years left in him. But he is slowing down. There'll be some announcements about that soon. But his love for snooker, I think, is, you know, I think snooker needs him, because with this boxing game and me doing a bit more on the dark side as well coming up, I think snooker needs Bazza. Bazza is snooker. Who's White fighting after Povetkin? Listen, get the win, then we'll talk about that. I still, for me, White against Wilder is just a cracking fight. Would Canelo try and force the Saunders fight at light heavy? No, unification at 168. What's your drive to keep pushing Matchroom to different levels? I guess it's very personal to me. You know, obviously it's a family business, and I feel an obligation to carry on what my old man's built, but I think it's just about winning. I just love to win. I love sport. I would have done anything to be a sportsman, but I was never good enough at anything. But business is the next best thing. And if you can keep the sport mentality in business, it's only a game. But I just love to win. Booth and Marsh. Yes, we've got to get them together. Sorry, let's get them together in the bubble, probably tomorrow. Adam Booth, Neil Marsh, if you're watching, it's on. Gloves are off. Sharky, does the football business interest you? Yes, I was very close, not so long ago, to launching. Watch this space, we'll see. Floria Marku, what's happening, mate? You in the bubble? I'll be joining you in an hour or so. Kelly v Ben this year. Look, to be honest, they've got such tough fights coming on. Conor Benn against Josh Kelly is a British super fight in time. But I would like to see it this year, but they've both got to win. Who is your next world champion? March the 20th, Lawrence Okoli becomes world cruiserweight champion. Sniper boss, Lerone Richards on the line. Lerone, your fight date for the European title coming soon, my friend. Be ready. Katie Taylor, I was actually on the phone to her manager, Brian Peters, this morning. Looks like April for her next fight, be announced soon. Ricky Burns news, I'm looking to make James Tennyson against Ricky Burns. Kevin Lorena on the line, COVID settles down, yep, absolutely Kev. UV Reactor is the fight I like. Return of Bubble Trouble this week. We could do a little bit of Bubble Trouble. The thing is with Bubble Trouble, I think it's terrible. Terrible. But seems to get a bit of love. Are you going to do something with Rugby Super League? I must get a few dozen messages a day asking me if we're going to do anything in Super League. I don't think so. Any chance UFC like Fight of the Night bonuses? What do you think of that? Fight of the Night bonuses? I don't know. I've always thought about knockout bonuses, fans fight of the night. Update on Terry Harper, going to be fighting Choi in a unification fight, probably early May. John Ryder news. John Ryder has been mandated to fight David Morrell for the World Super Middleweight title, WBA. You should do a boxing game. Again, you know how many messages I get about a boxing game? I mean, EA Sports, to be honest with you, with the pandemic, with all the work we've been doing, I haven't pushed it too hard, but EA Sports must be mad not to launch the fight game. Huge.